We now share part two of our interview with Brian Kardon, Chief Marketing Officer of Eloqua, talking about some of their creative marketing campaigns.
Well, let's explore how you're doing that creative marketing. You had a campaign that just came out recently with the Grande series of marketing content, along with a character by the name of Juan Eloqua. Tell us about that. How was it born? How did it come about? How did you get the analogy? Kind of what thought process went into it?
Sure. I'm a student of marketing. I just love marketing since I was first taught it a long time ago. And throughout the modern era of marketing, there have been a series of icons or characters. And you can think about the Jolly Green Giant or Mr. Clean or the Pillsbury Doughboy, Tony the Tiger, Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the world. I even think about William Shatner from time to time.
Sure.
And Priceline. So these people just become the personification of a brand. They're a lot of fun. And they just bring a certain humor and engagement that sometimes a brand doesn't have without that character or personality. And so sometimes software can be a little dull. And we were trying to introduce a lot of new content. We have a series of guides to help marketers make better decisions and to educate them about lead nurturing, about social media, lead scoring, sales enablement, a whole bunch of areas. And rather than just say, hey, here's our new guide, we wanted to introduce it in a more fun way. Jeff, you'll appreciate this. Our customers, of course, are all marketers. And so they're watching us pretty closely. And so here at Eloqua, the bar is pretty high. So when we do marketing, we want to do it at a certain standard and have some fun and do it pretty well. So we do a lot of testing. And we came up with this character, Juan Eloqua, and he does two things really well. He grows the best coffee beans in the world. They're bold and smoky and just incredible. But he also grows revenue. And since the time he was a young boy growing up in South America, he's been a master of growing coffee beans and growing revenue. And so the line we're using is, by the time it takes to drink a cup of bold and smoky Juan Eloqua coffee, you can be educated about lead scoring or lead nurturing or about deliverability or any number of marketing topics.
Hello, my name is Juan Eloqua. Since the time I was a young boy, I have learned to do two things extremely well. You see, I am a grower. I grow the best coffee beans in the world, bold and smoky, and I grow revenue. Yes, revenue. My friend P. Duty recently gave me some Bing. Here it is. Duty told me, Juan, no one grows revenue like you, baby. Duty knows what he's talking about. I want to help you grow your revenue. Is that music starting to annoy you? You are wonderful musicians, bold and smoky, but too loud. Could you please leave?
Thank you.
So, that is what Juan Eloqua is all about. In the time it takes to drink a bold cup of Juan Eloqua coffee, you too can learn to grow your revenue. For the first time, I am introducing the Grande Marketer series. Over many, many years, I have studied the performance of a wide range of companies. In every industry, including low-growth industries, a small group of companies has emerged that outperform and outcompete their peers. It is not luck. It is Eloqua. Juan Eloqua. Please, I invite you to become a Grande Marketer. Bold and smoky.
Our research shows that marketers, like a lot of executives, don't have a lot of time. And so we created these guides so they can be read within 10 minutes. Things are highlighted. It's very easy to absorb the content. And so that was sort of the origins of Juan Eloqua.
Well, a couple things I find very interesting about that, Brian. One is that you didn't create a white paper, an e-book, et cetera. You created a series of documents, all with the same theme, which I think is interesting. And then the whole tie between, you take something as dry and technical as software, and you use a South American character growing coffee beans, which is about as far from software as you can possibly get. Kind of what, tell me about why do a series and why use someone like a Juan Eloqua.
Yeah. The series came about is because we were planning to do all these one-offs, just like you talked about, do a white paper on this and do a piece of research on this, and we wanted to tie them together so that people who like the first one will look forward to the second one. You could think about the Dummy series, or you want to get the next Ken Follett novel, but really having a built-in audience. And when you keep launching things with new titles and different names and different covers, you sort of lose that continuity. So we're thinking more like a book publisher or a magazine publisher where we have the brand, the Grande series, and people look forward to the next one and know we will have a certain level of quality. That was the first thing going on. The second thing that we wanted to have happen is to have a little fun with it. And by the way, Juan Eloqua was a little controversial. I just wanted to make sure that it was not at all politically incorrect, and because we gave a lot of thought to this. And Juan Eloqua is a very accomplished man who grows great coffee. He's teaching his children how to do lead scoring and lead nurturing, and so we spoke to our PR agency. And also, the actor who plays Juan Eloqua is a drama professor at a major university, and he was born in Colombia, and his name is actually Diego. And so we talked to Diego. He's a member of the Screen Actors Guild. You'll see the commercials coming out over the next couple of months involve his family. His wife's name is Guadalupe, and he has a son. And they talk about that they're helping grow revenues and what they do, and it's very interesting. So we want to build an audience for the Grande guides, but also we want to create a little interest. Where's Juan going to be? What's he going to be doing next? I want to learn more about this person. I think I mentioned the Dos Equis campaign, the most interesting man in the world, and that's just gotten tremendous reviews. People look forward to it, and people smile and laugh, and it just makes you more engaged in the brand when you like the character. So we created this character of Juan Eloqua. It actually started in a funny way, Jeff. I play saxophone in a band. I play in a jazz band, actually a Latin band, and our bass player, his name is Oscar, and he's from Peru, and he's an amazing bass player. He's on the faculty at the Berklee College of Music, and he's actually won 3 Grammy Awards. And so I'm playing with him one night. We take a little break, and he says, "Brian, I've never asked you, in all the years we've been playing, where do you work?" And I say, "I work at Eloqua." And he says in his Peruvian accent, "Oh, Eloqua." And so I sort of looked at him, and that was sort of the spark. That with his South, Jeff, you know this. Creativity comes in crazy places. You can be out for a run.
Yes.
You could be, in the shower. And in this case, I had my saxophone around my neck. We just finished playing, and Oscar said the name Eloqua in such an interesting way. It just caught my ear, and so we developed this character of Juan Eloqua.
Very interesting. One thing I also wanted to do, because a lot of companies will look at this and say, wow, you must have had a great, PR agency or advertising agency, and you spent a lot of money and everything. What was the actual story behind the story in terms of, who created it, how much did it cost, kind of what went into it? How long did it take to produce?
It's a great question. As a marketer, I've used a variety of production firms to do things, and I've had, huge budgets to do very expensive things, $100,000 plus to do a 30-second spot with union and everything. And then I've done things on a little flip cam. And when I came with this guy, Juan Eloqua, we have him in different settings. We have him out in the fields, we have him in the dining room, we have him in different places. And I thought about using a production company, but I knew it would be prohibitively expensive. And so I was talking to my kids who were in high school, and I said, guys, I got this character, Juan Eloqua, what do you think, and what should I do? And they said, Dad, why don't you talk to our video teacher at the high school? So I called the kid's video teacher at the high school, and his name is Mr. Garland. And I said to Mr. Garland, I want to do these. He said, Brian, I think I can help you. So all the videos from our holiday card to Juan Eloqua were actually shot by a high school video teacher. And so he directed them, And the camera person is actually someone who just got out of high school and is a college sophomore, and she's the camera person. And it's completely union, so it's all Screen Actors Guild. Every actor in there has signed, the right forms. We pay them, the proper wages.
Right.
They're all catered. It's all done to very high standards, but we pay a fraction of what you pay a production company.
Sure.
So,
well, that's funny. That's hilarious to hear the story behind the story.
Yeah.
It looks so professional, and you think you probably hired some big ad agency to produce this for you, and really,
well, it was very funny because when I asked Ted, put together the budget, the biggest budget item was to rent a house where Juan Eloqua lives, this big casita, down in South America, and it's got to look a certain way. So I said, Ted, what if we shot it in my house? And so he said, well, your house isn't, a South American house. I said,
sure,
make it one. so he bought stock footage in the beginning opening that looks like you're in some hillsides where the coffee beans are grown.
Right.
And then he opens my front door, and we had a set designer who took down my artwork and all my stuff, and they put up crosses and South American art and all these things. And in fact, it was shot in my living room. It was shot in the living room of my house to save money. And but they did it very professionally. They did tracking shots, so they put tracks down on the floor, and they moved the camera and all special lighting, and they had boom microphone, and it was all done in high definition. And they did a great job. So I would encourage your listeners, who I know are marketers who are trying to stretch their budgets, that don't necessarily go to a high-end production company or even an ad agency, because you're paying for a lot of overhead, a bunch of account people standing around, is the coffee warm, trying to schmooze the client. And then if you go the other end, where you use a flip cam, I found that the lighting isn't very good, the sound quality is not as good as I would like, and so I found this middle ground of finding someone like a teacher. Now, the one caveat with the teacher, of course, is that they can only shoot things during the summer. So school started, and Mr. Garland is no longer available until Thanksgiving break or Christmas break to help us again.
That's hilarious. It's just a very funny story of how things actually are born, because everyone sees this finished product and they think, what a creative piece these guys did, and don't realize the birthing process that happened.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have more episodes coming, and hopefully we've stoked the fire of curiosity here, and people look forward to learning more about Juan Eloqua and our Grande series.
I certainly like the fact that you created a character that you can use over and over. Like you said, you're Tony the Tiger, most interesting man in the world, Old Spice type of, character. I really like that. Yeah. So, yes. What else do you have in the works, or what else are you thinking of doing in the near future? Do you have any other characters you want to create, or have other types?
Well, we don't really. You really want to focus on just one or two characters. We have one character that we use with our customers, and he appears at all of our user conferences around the world, and his name is Drake, and he's very much like a Mad Men kind of character. So he's very much in the 1960s, and he's there. And then we use Juan Eloqua for a lot of our prospecting, but we don't want to introduce new characters. The big thing we have coming up is we have a major product launch. We, Eloqua was sort of the first guy out of the box with marketing automation, and it's a lot of it is the original code, and so we've rethought the entire system. And so we have a new user interface coming out, all drag and drop. If you can use PowerPoint, you can use this new product, and so that's coming out in Q4. And so we have a lot of energy and a lot of marketing creativity going behind our the launch of what we're calling Eloqua 10, our new product.
Brian, this has been a really fascinating discussion. I've enjoyed our chat. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
No, but one brief comment, and that is, I think all of us in the marketing community enjoy your blog and enjoy what you have to say. And so you're an important voice for all of us in marketing and marketing automation. So keep doing what you're doing, Jeff. We all enjoy it, and we all learn from it.
Thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support.